Today's workout is kettlebells for arms. You're going to need 1 or 2 light to moderate kettlebells, and bonus if you have a matching set of kettlebells or dumbbells for some Renegade Rows. It's very easy to do, and we're just going to follow along. I will explain to you the exercises, give you the reps and sets, and then if you're following along in real time, you can pause the video, do the exercises, and then move on. We will be having one warm-up exercise to get the upper body going because we're going to be doing a lot of overhead movement, and sometimes, even if you just try right now, if you try to lift your arms up overhead, if you've been sitting at your desk all day looking at the computer, your arms might only get this high. We want to make sure that they're going to get nice and high. So we'll do a little warm-up, and then we'll be doing 3 supersets of exercises. That means you're going to do one exercise immediately followed by another and take as little rest as you need before you go on to do the set again. So I'll be telling you how many sets and reps of everything you need to do, and it's also in the notes below. So we're just going to start with some simple arm circles. We want to get these arms warmed up. So palms up, shoulder height, thumbs are going behind, facing back, and then you're going to do small little circles. Count to 10 circles as you gradually make your arms bigger and bigger. Then we're going to bring palms facing down and thumbs going forward, small circles forward, counting to 10, getting bigger and bigger. Now we are going to be doing a lot on our hands with our wrists, so let's warm those wrists up. Interlace your hands so they're like this, and then we're going to keep those forearms together as much as you can, and it's almost like your hands are making out. We're going to do big circles. It's almost like a figure 8 here. And then if you can, it's very difficult, reverse it. Then I just want you to take your hand, one hand, put it on the palm, not the thumb, not the fingers, we're getting it on the palm, and give your forearm a little stretch here. We'll want to do this at the end too. And then hand on the palm again, and pull that palm towards you. Arm is out straight, my wrist is as high as my shoulder. Now you're going to interlace your hands behind your back, press those palms together if you can, and press your chest forward, but try not to let your lower back arch. Keep your lower back long, you're engaging your core by squeezing your stomach, and then just raise those arms up and lower them down. You see, none of me is moving except for my arms. Do that 3, 4, 5 times, whatever feels good. And then with those arms up, you can slightly bend your knees and fold over the legs, hinging forward, getting a big stretch on the back sides of the legs. And stand up. Let those arms relax. From here, we're going to do our first true kettlebell for arms exercise, and that's a quarter get-up. So you're going to grab a lighter weight kettlebell, or you could even use it with a dumbbell, maybe 5 to 7 pounds. Or if your weights are too heavy, hold a soup can or water bottle. You're going to lie on the floor with that kettlebell right below your shoulder on one side. You'll roll onto your side in what we call fetal position with your hand on the bell. I'll show it on the other side in a moment so you can see that as well. And you're going to press that kettlebell overhead. Then from here, you're going to lock the arm into the shoulder socket, put your opposite arm and leg away from you at a 45-degree angle, and then you're going to roll up and towards this direction. So we go and send the arm towards the ceiling and then roll back. This is a good exercise just to do with your body weight too if you're having trouble with it. But you want to have this leg that's up pressed onto the floor, your hand is down, you're going to roll up and back. I want you to do this 5 to 10 times per side as your warm-up. My toes are flexed towards me on the leg that's extended. This is going to help zip up, and I'm using my core to come up. It's not quite a sit-up. I'm not like rolling or crunching up. I'm really coming up as one unit, keeping the core engaged. My arm is not out here. This would be too high, and this would be too close. It really needs to be around 45 degrees away from you. And come up. Wrist is nice and straight, and back down. So you'll be able to see how we start on this side. See, I'm rolled in fetal position and I get an underhand grip on the bell right here. And then I roll it up. I'm here. I roll onto my elbow, keeping my fist going towards the ceiling, arm to the sky. 5 to 10 times per side, and that is your warm-up. So next we're gonna get into our first set of exercises. That warm-up helped to bring the arms through the shoulder socket. Now you can check to see if those arms are going up overhead, because now you're gonna send your weight overhead. You can do actually all of these exercises with kettlebells or dumbbells. I'm showing you with kettlebells today because that is my preference, but either way you're gonna need a kettlebell or dumbbell that you can press overhead. We're going to superset a standing shoulder press with push-ups. So we're doing pushing and pressing. I'm gonna get my bench here to show you how to do push-ups with some help if you don't feel confident in your push-ups. And we'll get going. So the first thing you're gonna do, and I'm giving you big rep ranges here because I don't know what you have at home, 5 to 10 shoulder presses on each side. So if you have a kettlebell and you're not familiar with how to get it up, you're just gonna grab it with both hands. If it's gonna live in my right hand, I grab it with my right hand, get my left hand underneath. We're gonna get it up to what's called the rack position. I have a nice straight wrist. My knuckles are going towards the ceiling. My hands right over my elbow, maybe a little in of there. You don't wanna be out here and you certainly don't wanna be here. We wanna start with a nice strong rack position. I have my core engaged, long lower back, and then I'm going to press up and bring it back down. Can be helpful to exhale as you go up, inhale as you come down. Now you can see the path of this bell is almost straight up, but it's got to kind of make a J shape on its way to get there. And at the top, my fist or my knuckles are facing back and my palm is facing front. You can see from the side that arm is coming all the way in line with my ear, but I want to make sure that I keep the shoulder down and away from the ear. Try not to hike that arm up too much, the shoulder up too much rather, and don't let the belly dump forward or the hip dump forward. And the arm that's not working, it can live on your stomach to make sure your core is staying engaged, or it can be out to the side. So you'll do 5 to 10 on one side, pick it up, 5 to 10 on the other. If you can't press the weight you have overhead, you're gonna do a push press. It means you're gonna bend your knees a little bit and press the weight up as you stand. Just gives you a little momentum and assistance to do the press, but be careful, it can throw your balance off like it did right there for me. Now we are going to do push-ups. Again, rep range here, 5 to 10, because I am not there with you. If you can just muster out a few on the floor, maybe 5, but you could do 10 on the bench, maybe do 10 on the bench. Either way, to start a push-up, you get into a plank position. My hands are just about as wide as my shoulders and slightly in front of my shoulders. My heels are pressed back past the balls of my feet. My feet are about hips distance apart. The bigger base of support you have, the better. I'm engaging my core, tucking my pelvis. I have a long flat back, squeezing every fiber of my being as I lower down and come up. Inhale down, exhale up. 5 to 10. If you're having trouble, not sure if you're getting down far enough, throw a yoga block underneath your chest. Come to the same position, and now I know, okay, I've gone down far enough. Or if you want a bigger challenge, turn that yoga block on its side. Now, if you can't do push-ups on the floor, don't drop to your knees. I don't believe in girl push-ups. Push-ups on your knees are okay, but they have diminishing returns. Instead, you're gonna take it to an inclined surface. Maybe we have a bench, a chair, a wall, a TRX strap, and then you're gonna come into your tall plank position and do the exact same thing, core engaged, squeeze every fiber of your being, chest towards that bench, and come up. 5 to 10. If you're doing them on the bench, go for 10. So while these exercises work your arms, they also work your upper body. Those presses work the shoulder, the push-ups work your chest, presses actually work the back a little bit, traps, we're getting more than just arms. This is better than just bicep and triceps, but we are gonna get to that too in a minute. So I'd like you to repeat 5 to 10 shoulder presses on each side, one at a time, and then 5 to 10 push-ups for 3 to 5 rounds. So do both of those back to back 3 to 5 times. Pause the video, bust it out, and then I'll see you back here for our next set of exercises. Next up, we have 2 more exercises. We are going to start with Renegade Rows and then do a hook grip chest press. We're going to be working the front and then the back. The Renegade Rows work on your biceps. They also work on your back. The chest press works on your triceps and it works on the chest. So when we work one side, we want to make sure we even it out and work the other. The Renegade Rows can be done a number of different ways. The truest way, if you will, is by taking 2 kettlebells that are at least 25 pounds. And this weight could be different depending on the maker of your kettlebell. If you have competition kettlebells, you can use any weight because they're all huge. But basically, you need something big enough that it's got a good base because you're going to be leaning on it. From here, you come up into a really wide-legged plank. See how wide my feet are? They're like wider than a yoga mat. Ooh, my hair. Now, I'm going to get those kettlebells pretty close together, brace my core, and I'm going to push down with my right hand as I pull the left hand towards my chest. And then I switch sides. And while I do this, I squeeze my glutes, I squeeze my core, and I keep the entire body tight. And I really keep the non-working arm straight. And the working arm is really just bending at the elbow. I'm resisting lifting the shoulder at all. So 5 on each hand. Now, if you can't do this, if you don't have the right kettlebells, you can do it with one. And you're going to put the non-working hand on a yoga block or a book or even another weight, maybe one that's just way too heavy. And then you'll do all of your reps on one side, 5 on one side, then switch to the other. The third way you can do them is with dumbbells. And those dumbbells can be here. It's a little bit easier. The balance is a lot easier, keeping everything tight. Or if you have sensitive wrists, you can put your hands on the floor and then you just put it down each time as you switch back and forth. And finally, if this is also out of reach, you're going to come into a plank position and then lift one arm at a time, 5 times on each side. So there's a version of this for everyone. Now the second exercise is called a hook grip chest press. I don't think I've ever seen it before. I might have made it up, but it is a tricep dominant chest press. So it really works your arms. It works with chest as well, the muscles right in here specifically, but you're gonna totally feel it in your triceps. So you'll start lying on the floor with that kettlebell somewhere around the middle of your arm. And then much like we did with the quarter getup, you're going to be rolling, but instead of having the hand like this, we're gonna take the hand that's on top, grab the kettlebell like you'd be holding it by your side, except obviously we can't pick it up here. And then this hand is going to go on the part of the kettlebell that might have the brand or the weight. From here, you're going to roll and press that kettlebell up overhead. So one of my hands, the fingernails are facing towards the back of the room, towards where my head is, and the other hand, you can see my fingers right here, is grabbing the bell. So this is what it looks like, but I'm here. From here, you're gonna press your lower back into the ground, your feet are planted, and then I'm gonna pull the kettlebell down with so much control and try to bring my elbows all the way to the floor, and then press the kettlebell back up. You can see it's really working just below my chest. I don't have it over my face, and it's a little wobbly, especially at first, so you've got to be careful. You're going to do 8 to 10 on one side, and it really feels like a leg press, actually. It feels like if you've ever done a leg press machine, very similar, where your back is pressing into the floor and you're pressing the weight away from you. And I want you to really press it up and then feel like you're pulling it down. Don't just let the arm slam down. and the tricep on the side with that heavy weight is really gonna work. Then you're gonna carefully put it down without crushing your fingers. You can either halo it around your head or pick it up and do it on the other side. And then we're gonna roll. And again, now you can see what the other side looks like. One of my hands is where the weight is, that middle of the bell, and the other hand is holding firmly on the handle. Be careful if your hands are slippery and sweaty like mine. Again, press the whole back into the floor. You don't want to let the back come up. Press the feet into the ground. Pull that kettlebell down and press up. You're going to feel it in your chest, and you're really going to feel it in your arms. So you're going to do 8 to 10 on each side. So we have 5 Renegade rows on each hand, 8 to 10 hook grip chest presses on each side, and you're going to repeat that whole thing for 3 sets. So pause the video, go do your reps, rewind if you need to see how to do them again, and I'll see you back here in a few minutes. The final 2 exercises are done in a tall kneeling position. So if you have sensitive knees, have a nice padded floor like I do, or grab a pillow, or you could do them standing as well if your knees don't tolerate being bent like this. So I'm gonna come to a tall kneeling position. From here, I wanna make sure I'm not leaning forward with my butt poking out and my back arched. You want your core engaged. You want your ribs going towards your hip bones, glutes on, core on. Then you're gonna pick up your kettlebell and hold it like this. So I have the horns, I'm holding the horns on their underside. You're going to press the elbows into the sides of the body. Keep the core engaged, and then only moving the elbows, really. Extend the arms as much as you can. The kettlebell, the bottom of it might touch your pelvis, and then squeeze and curl it back up. Inhale as you extend, exhale as you pull it up towards you. So you're going to want to resist the urge to let the body move, and you're really going to feel this in your biceps. So you can see here from the front, and I'm squeezing my butt the whole time, staying nice and upright. My elbows are the only part of me that are moving. So you're going to do 10 to 15. If you have 2 different weights, you might be able to do the heavier one for the bicep curl, but our superset is a tricep extension, and usually that's a little harder. So for the tricep extension, we start in the same position, core on, glutes on, pick that kettlebell up, same way. I've picked up a lighter one here. Now I extend the arms up and overhead, and again, I'm bending at the elbow, but because of the position of my arms, it's now gonna hit the back of the arms or the triceps. So I bend, and then the handle of the bell comes all the way to my upper back, and nothing else is moving. I'm just trying to move my elbows. And I squeeze the back of my arms as I pull the kettlebell up. Inhale down, exhale up, and now you can see from the back. That kettlebell is pressed up overhead, bend at the elbow, extend. Bend at the elbow, and extend. These 2, the second exercise, you can try to do for 5 to 10 reps, hopefully closer to 10. And then you are going to repeat that all 3 times, 2 to 3 times total, sorry. So that is 10 to 15 bicep curls, 5 to 10 tricep extensions. Repeat the whole thing 2 to 3 times. Your arms are going to be so swole and so maybe sore after this workout. You can check down below in the notes for the full thing. Leave me a comment, let me know how it goes. Thank you so much for joining me today.